Hi everyone. Okay, spring is in full force right now. As you can see, beautiful colors behind me. So if you see a little sniffle going on, some of that action, then you know why. We are outside. It is spring. I do have allergies in the pollen. So there we go. But I wanted to get down to an important topic today that I wanted to address before any of you who are maybe new to homeschooling or beginning in the process and are watching this. I want to help you find your whys. And I want to help you realize why those are so important. So let's talk about the why. So for me, when I started homeschooling my children back in 2020, the whys were, first, I didn't want to force mask my kids. Obviously, that's not an issue in today's world, at least in America or North America. It is not a problem, but didn't want to force mask my kids. And then as we started going along that process, I realized so much more. I woke up to so much more. And once you see certain things, you can't unsee, you can't unlearn. You, especially when you become passionate about them and when you realize what is really happening to these kids. And so when I realized and woke up to some of these things, I decided, okay, well, I'll try to put them back in because I don't really like teaching chemistry. I don't really like teaching these things. But how silly is this thought, honestly? How silly is that thought to think, I don't want to homeschool my kids, my first graders, because I don't like teaching chemistry. I don't like teaching biophysics, like maybe some subjects that are more intense and complex in high school. Like, the world will have you go first to those thoughts, thinking that you're inadequate as a teacher, okay? So when you're in your moments of deep regret and wondering why you're homeschooling, I don't know, there's so many reasons why we start to doubt ourselves. But when those thoughts creep in, I want you to remember, what are your whys? What are your reasons that you are homeschooling your kids? So for me, the first reason that we started homeschooling, because during the pandemic, they were forced masking children. Obviously, I have a huge issue with that. This is a super conservative channel, by the way. This will help people weed out really quick once I start going off here. But absolutely have huge issues with forced masking young children who, when there's an authoritative figure trying to push health measures on children like that, it's absolute insanity to me. So we pulled our kids out. Now that's not an issue anymore, but that was the beginning of such an unraveling of truths for me and for my husband. And once we saw things, we couldn't unsee them. We couldn't unlearn. Once you know and you are wanting to do better, then you do better. Once you know better, you do better. So anyways, now we homeschool because indoctrination in schools, because of huge numbers in classes, because of crazy conduct of children, furries in schools. Like this, there is such an epidemic of mental illness amongst children, and administrators are feeding into it. I'm not going to say where we live, but man, it is bad here. It is bad here. And we're in an incredibly conservative area, an incredibly conservative state. So I know that as I see it here, I know it is even worse in many other parts of the country. And my heart aches for these children. But I know that I can only do what I can do. And so for me, those are some of my biggest whys. And there will be hard days while you are homeschooling that you will need to rebound, go back to your whys, and then bounce back and get back in the game. Head in the game. Your head is going to need to be in that game. And you'll have moments where it's not, and that's okay. But write down your whys, print them out, put them in your closet, do what you need to so that they are there when you need them as a sounding board. Okay? And then for the end of this video, I just want to reiterate a little message of hope that there is no one more qualified and more chosen to be the leader of your children, the instructor for your children, the nurturer for your children for, at least those 6 hours a day that they would be in school. There is no one more completely adequate for that than you as a mother or a father of your child. You are the person that God chose to influence your child throughout their days. Not some instructor that changes every hour, every month, every year. It was you. And a lot of people will say, how do you homeschool, or why would you homeschool? You'll get people who think you are crazy. But honestly, it doesn't matter. And I teach my kids this a lot. It doesn't matter what other people think about you. It matters what God thinks about you, and it matters what you think about you. What do you think about homeschooling your kids? Why do you homeschool your kids? Why is it important to you? Why is it important to your children? And that is what matters. Okay, hopefully that was a little ray of light to start you off on your journey if you're just beginning, or if you're in the middle, wherever you are. We're now in our 3rd year, and it is our whys just build and build. And we're so lucky to be in the process of where we are, because we've learned so much, and we are still learning so much in this process. But if you guys have any questions, you can always bounce them off me in the comments, or you can direct message me. I'm always glad to help and answer however. But there's so many people who are starting their journeys, and it's so exciting. So God bless everybody who's in it. Summer days are around the corner, and hopefully you get, I know some people keep going hardcore during the summer. We take a little break and do refreshers throughout the weeks with workbooks and things. But yeah, looking forward to hearing how everyone's journey is going. Love you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye.